Hello everyone. So today I am going to work on this how to define this petroleum path for this TRex character AI character to use. So when I start the game, the TRex AI system will continuously follow this path that I have defined with this spline round and round. So here we will set up a simple AI controller and a mechanism to follow this path. So here let me play. As you can see, it's right now it's not able to detect the player, it's just only following the given path. So to show that it is doing the full round, let me speed up the game a little bit. Here so it is going the full round. So yeah, that's what we are going to work on today. So before we get started, let me remind you that I have worked on over 2000 tutorials in my channel, and for each tutorial project files are available in my Patreon page. So if you like to support my work, or if you like to take a look at any of the projects that I have done, there are all different kinds of projects: real-time strategies, shooters, action RPGs, whatever you can think of are there. But for this project I am not able to share the full project because this TRex character is not something that I have created, it is from marketplace. But I might be able to share the AI functions and the character functions that I have implemented here. So feel free to check it out. I'll leave the links in description below. And this episode is sponsored by 𝐒𝐴𝐴 this generous patron. So thank you very much for your support. And now let's get back to today's tutorial. Okay, so I have this blueprints folder. Here I'll create an actor. Let's call it BP AI path. So this will define the path any AI character can take. So like it could be like a loop. So here let me open it. And then I'll just my component. Here to get started, let me make this a linear spline. If I press Alt and drag, we can duplicate the spline point, add a new spline point. I'll make this one also. This is also linear. So linear. Initial one also make it linear, so we can have this straight lines. But it doesn't really matter because we need some general path for AI to follow. Okay. Now, if I can I make this a closed loop? Yeah, make this a closed loop so you can see the closed loop. So you can have something like this. Okay. Now if I drag and drop it here, let's see, so we can see it. Start from here. Let me modify this. To cover this entire area. This you can see where the now mesh is. Okay, here maybe we should have, and here also we can have another point to get a more refined path like this. Okay, so now this would be the path that I want my TRex to follow. I name this AI path 1. Right, now let me open this blueprint of the AI TRex. So here I don't think we assigned a custom AI controller. So here AI controller class is the default one. So let's create one. Intelligence, no. Blueprint, all classes. Okay, I'll call it AI TRex. Now let me open it. So here I need to make a connection to this path within the AI controller. So how can we do that? Oh, first, before that, let's assign this AI controller to the TRex, AI TRex. Okay. And also in the TRex, I have this, I was using this random moment for testing. So now I'll disconnect that. I don't need it anymore because I'm going to implement the patrol path for the TRex. Okay, so now here, let's add a function initialize patrol point. So we need to find this. We need a reference to this patrol point, which is in the type of like this. So it is in the type of BP AI path. So find actor of class. Get all actors of class. But we have this get actor of class, not this one. We can use this. This is only because we have only one patrol path here. So if you want to extend it beyond that, you may have to have an alternative way like determining an exact or closest patrol point path for a character. But for now, this should be enough. EP AI path. Okay. Now here, so valid. Then if it is valid, I can get point. We need to get all the spline points. So get spline point count points with number of spline points. Yeah, this one. And we can run with the first index is 0. Index is this number of points minus 1. So we can iterate through all the spline points. Then another dot here. Get spline location. Get location at spline point. Yeah, using this, we can access location of a given point. So I'll use the world coordinate space, and then I'll have, let's add a variable. Vector should be an array. And this point to our vector points. Okay. Right. Now this will initialize all the spline points, and we can call this in the begin play. Initialize vector points. Just to make sure it is working, let's add a print here. Print this location. So give it for 5 seconds. So if this is working properly, we should see a set of locations in the top left. Did I assign this to the TRex? Yeah, okay. Now let's see. These are the points. These are the patrol points. Okay. Now here, let's write a simple function to make the TRex patrol through this path that is given by these spline points. I'll give it go to now out of this we need to find the closest point, and then we should get the next point, so that we can say not the closest one, the character should go to the next point. So how do we do that? Well, of course we can run a for each loop, and here I'll collapse this. This is to get the next point. So I'll collapse this to a function and call it get next patrol point. Turn this into a pure function. So what we need to do is, as I said, we need to find the closest point and then get the next point. So for that, we're gonna need few variables. An array, a float. First one is closest length. Current closest. So this would represent the closest distance that we found to a patrol point out of the points that we have considered so far. So initially I'll add a very big number here, so that whatever the point that we count next will be considered the closest point. And current closest point index should be an integer. So whatever the point out of the points that we have considered so far, the closest point we have found to the character. Okay, now get controlled for get location. So this should give us the location of the TRex, and using this node we can find the distance from TRex to this spline point, patrol point. And if this distance is less than the current closest distance, this will become our new closest position. That means can set the current closest point index with this current index and the current closest distance with this distance. Okay. Now at the end, this is 0. Now at the end, we can get the current point and 1 to that. This would be the next point. Let's promote this to another local variable. Let's call it next point. If here, if this is greater than the number of petrol points, greater than the last index of these petrol points, that means we need to consider again, we need to go back. That means since this is a closed loop, we need to consider point 0, whatever the point in the 0th index, as the next petrol point. So branch, no need to have a branch. We can just add a return node here. We can return the next point, not exactly, it just to add a output. Let's call it next. So we can select this. If this is larger, that means we need to consider 0th point. Otherwise, we can in fact use the next point. Okay. Now this function should give us the next point for the AI to move. Actually, this is just the index. So why don't we get the point itself? Yeah. Points. Get using this index. Let's just call it target location. Okay. Now we can use the phone. Destination is this. Acceptance radius. We can have a bit bigger one. Okay, so on success, we can go to next point. I think that's all we need to do. Let's see if it works. Nothing is happening. Go to the debug. Maybe it failed. So there could be many problems that can go wrong. Oh, actually we didn't call this. Go to next point. Maybe let's do a small delay here. So it doesn't start moving right away. See, it's going. We just need to check if it do the complete round. I think it's doing it. Oh, it does have a pretty big round. Let me go to the level blueprint. Cheat. 0 with the save block. Here set game the global time delay. But then I need to and if I press the same thing again, I reset it back to 1. That means the normal. So we can easily test this. Okay, now where is the TRex over there? Let me press 0. See, it's moving. Oh, I can't see that. But he's coming. So he is doing a full round. So yeah, so the system is working. TRex is going round and round in the defined petrol path. Yeah, I think that should be enough for today. So next time let's work on how to make the TRex detect the player character and interrupt its patrol routine and maybe chase the player. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and see you in the next episode. Goodbye.